New Radio Sports Network and 1041 WRLU, another edition of the show with the head coach of the Green Bay Gamblers, Pat Mikesch, as we recap a win on New Year's Eve, the traditional New Year's Eve game, and then a cancellation of sorts for that Saturday game. So I guess let's start things there with the cancellation first. Before we came on, we kind of said, hey, things had been actually going along quite well. And, I guess with the NHL taking their long break, you've seen issues with the NFL and other leagues as well. This was just a matter of time. But I guess what kind of concerns do you have that your team and the USHL will be able to kind of maybe hit this in the bud and not have too many issues?
Well, and that's what we're all hoping for is just everything has been going along so smooth, and that's league wide, not just here in Green Bay for us. And we knew with everybody going home at break and seeing friends and all the travel involved with that, I think everybody in the league expected there was possibility of a little bit of a issue coming back. And so, for Cedar Rapids, it was that was their first time going through it because they didn't play last year. And so, they notified us and their doctor made the decision that they weren't going to be able to go. And then we just went from there.
And you had such a great, capital W, if you will, to end off your December. We talked last week about how this has been a nice rebound month after that rough November. You get your offense going again in that game on Friday against Madison. Was it kind of a bummer to kind of see those things kind of click and all of a sudden you kind of don't even have a chance to continue that momentum?
We were excited to play. You come off that Friday night game, which was our first one back from break, and had a nice performance. And looking to a Cedar Rapids team that was going to be coming to our building. We'd had success the last time they were in our building, so I think there was disappointment Saturday morning when we found out that it was official that we wouldn't be playing, but we'll get to play that game again in the future. And right now our guys are feeling good about themselves, and we've played some good hockey, and we've got some great tests coming up in us. This next month is a very demanding month for us against all the top teams in our division.
Yeah, one of those teams we'll see this weekend, Friday and Saturday night. You'll be able to hear those games on 1041 WRLU. Chicago Steel, your defending Cup champions. And, sometimes in this league, it just takes, I don't want to say graduation. It's more of a high school thing. But, they lost a lot of their big guns last year, but it seemed like they just reloaded this year.
They had a good group returning, and they've done a nice job of carrying over that momentum from last year. And they haven't changed a lot in the way they approach a game. They play a very offensive driven puck possession game. But I didn't mind how we played against them early in the year. I think it was one went our way, one went their way. And then a second one that was a tight one that they took advantage of late. So we need to be good in all facets of the game. We got to stay out of the penalty box. They got a great power play, and make them play 5-on-5 against us.
Yeah, I believe that game at the Resch was a 2-1 win for you guys, and then 6-2. The Steel were able to win it down in Geneva, Illinois. And when you take a look back, you were saying that game just kind of got away from you at the end there. Any other things that you remember from those two matchups? Maybe taking a quick look at the film, saying, "Okay, this was kind of the turning point in this particular game."
Well, we're just starting to get into that video now. Actually, I'm spending time watching their last game just to see what some of their lines look like and things that might be a little bit different. But I've poked around and watched a few games, even in the last couple of months, just stop and watch their game for a little bit. And they're doing all the same things. Adam Fantilli is a special player. He's going to be an extremely high NHL draft pick. And, you need to be aware when he's out there. And Jackson Blake, who is already an NHL draft pick, is having a great year for them as well. So they're going to get their offensive chances. And, but we need to limit those to, their one opportunity and not a second and third, and take advantage of the fact that they do give up their opportunities as well. So it's kind of a transition driven game. And you want to make sure you're responsible without the puck, but take advantage when we have it.
You know, obviously you've been in the USHL or involved with the league for a long time as well. When you face a team like the Steel coming off a championship like they are, how hard is it for teams to really have sustained success when you have as many moving parts as you have?
Well, I think the last time you saw something like this is when John Cooper was in the league and, was able to put the back-to-back years together for Green Bay with, dominating regular season and having great playoffs. And so, what Chicago's done is a staple that's hard to repeat. And this league is a lot of times built around 1 year of success and 1 year of trying to grow. And what they've done with that group and the number of players they were able to keep back from a championship team is what leads to the success they're having.
Is that just having the right mix of, holdovers and draft picks?
That's a lot of it, and it's a credit to what they did in their drafting, and having some younger players that were really going to be ready to take over that following year. So, they've done a good job to put themselves in this situation and did a nice job in the draft. And so you're always trying to make sure your shelves are stocked, because you're going to lose your top players every year, it seems like. Adam Fantilli being a young player for Chicago and coming back because of his age is a rarity, but that just shows how talented he was to have the success he had last year for them as a 16-year-old. But it's you got to, make sure you're drafting properly, timelines properly. You can't just build around all 19 and 20-year-olds and expect to be strong the following year.
Going back to last week, and obviously you're expecting to play on Saturday. When you found out, do you call the players and say, "Hey, let's get a skate in early so you can enjoy the day"? Did you give them the day off? How did you celebrate New Year's Day?
Yeah, well, they were all showing up at the rink. Like, I got the first call in probably about 8:30 in the morning, and by 10 o'clock it was official, and our guys go on the ice for their morning skate at 10 a.m. So they were all down here. We just kind of said, well, we're going to have a practice here in a little bit. Had about a 50-minute practice, fairly loose, knowing that their brains were a little bit scattered, finding out they weren't playing a game, but we had some fun out there. And then they were able to go spend the rest of the day. And then, a lot of them went to the Packer game yesterday. And so it was a little bit of a mini break for them then with that Saturday-Sunday combination.
And then, we kind of talked about, hey, here's how we improved towards the end of last season. When you take a look at that last little taste of 2021, now looking to 2022, what is maybe the most improved aspect of your team? I know before it was special teams, trying to get those rolling the way that you wanted to. What's maybe the most improved aspect of your team right now?
Well, I still believe it's that special teams. Well, when we had our struggles in November, we were losing the special teams battle, nightly. And credit to our coaches, they've done a great job of improving both of them. The power play and the penalty kill are clicking at top of the league type numbers for the last month. And now it's, continuing with that and helping that evolve. And if we could keep that as a staple in our game, then we're going to have a lot of success. And then another big piece, I think getting Carter Batchelder gave us that one more forward in our top 9 mix. And it just gave us that balance that we needed and the more depth scoring, which, is crucial in this league.
When it comes to those special teams, sometimes, you kind of mix those lines up a little bit. Is that a chemistry thing, or is that coaches realizing here are the strengths? Let's change the strategy a little bit.
A little bit, especially in that power play of finding chemistry. The guys that are on it now having success for the most part are the guys that were having it during the hard times as well. But we had a lot of first-year players that were being used in those situations. So, it was allowing them to learn, and you're going to make some mistakes, but they can grow and watch video and actually see how we make this work together. And right now they're doing a great job of that.
So coming up once again, Friday and Saturday, the Chicago Steel come to the Rest Center to play the Green Bay Gamblers. You'll be able to go watch the games at the Rest Center, or of course, you can always tune in the new radiosportsnetwork.com or 104.1 WRLU to catch the call with Tobin Meyer. Coach, we wish you best of luck this weekend and go grab a couple W's. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good, Tim. Thanks as always.
For the new Radio Sports Network, I'm Tim Coles.